All right, friends, it's T-Man, and I'm back with another video. You could say it's an educational video, okay? So somebody asked me again about this anti-aging stuff or whatever. How do you anti-age or whatever? Or reverse aging. If you really want to know how to reverse aging, everything starts with healthy bones and healthy muscles. Okay, so you want to know how to anti-age, right? All right. Now this could be, you could call this could be anti-aging. So the satellite cell, we know that the satellite cells are progenitor cells, they are stem cells, and they are, how should I put it? They're the major player when it comes to muscles. Okay, so satellite cells in aging, use it or lose it. All right. So abstract. Individuals, I'm gonna read this, okay, and I'll explain some of this stuff here. Why this is important. This is a short version by PubMed, okay? Individuals that maintain healthy skeletal tissue tend to live healthier, happier lives as proper muscle function enables maintenance of independence and actuation of autonomy. It does, but food plays a part as well. You should be eating your natural diet. You should be eating a natural diet, nothing engineered or artificial by man. Eat a natural diet. If you don't know what that is, then I think you need to figure it out. It's kind of obvious. You're not a hunter. If you were a hunter, that's your natural diet, okay? You hunt. You're a human. You're an apex predator. You hunt, you kill, and you eat. All right. The onset of skeletal muscle decline begins at around the age of 30. And muscle atrophy is associated with a number of serious morbidities and mortalities. It definitely is, man. That's why it's good to create more nascent muscle fibers, because remember, these cells have a limit how much they can split, divide, and increase in number. And as you get older, you're actually losing muscle fibers after 30. You're losing muscle fibers and the mass of the myofibrillar, okay, which is energy, mostly made up of energy. But those fibers themselves, the extracellular matrix, you're actually losing fibers. As you believe it or not, you're actually losing fibers, and you're losing nuclei. Okay, so you lose fibers, you lose nuclei. So satellite cells are responsible for regeneration of skeletal muscle and enter a reversible, non-dividing state of quiescence under homeostatic conditions. So it is a good thing to do things that you're unaccustomed to doing to get them to come out of quiescence so they can split, divide, increase in number, and regenerate you. Now listen to what they say here. They don't say people that are exercising in gyms, or they're going there frequently exercising, people that are adapted. What they say here in this part right here, they say in response to injury. Listen to what they say. This is exercise. That's what they're talking about. In response to injury, satellite cells are able to activate and re-enter the cell cycle, creating what? New cells. They're creating new cells. We want new cells. Why? Because the old cells have according to the Hayflick guy, they have a number about how many times they can replicate. You understand me? So how do you beat aging? How do you live longer? By getting more muscle cells. Get it? You understand me? That's how you beat it. And then the bone marrow too. The mesenchymal cells are in on this too, creating more of these muscles too. They're in on all of this. Plus, if muscles are getting injured, these micro injuries, then the bones are getting micro injured. But they can only happen in unaccustomed, untrained muscle. Unaccustomed exercise known to cause muscle damage, and unfamiliar forms cause this muscle damage. But when you're unfamiliar as well, the bones get these micro tears as well. Okay, so it creates new cells to repair and create what? Nascent muscle fibers. Nascent meaning new muscle fibers, while preserving a small population of the satellite cell that can what? It can return to quiescence for what? Future regenerative demands. What does that mean to you, regenerative? To regenerate, bro, get it? All right. However, in aged muscle, satellite cells that experience prolonged quiescence will undergo programmed cellular senescence. What is programmed cellular senescence? They're dead cells, get it? They die. They can't replicate anymore. They're dead. And when the last cell can't replicate in your body, you die. Get it? Yeah, you die. So why wouldn't you want to create more muscle cells? Oh, I know. You want to go to the gym to lift a heavy weight and look cool lifting a heavy weight. Yeah, when I was young, I wanted to do that too. I think that's great. That's all cool and everything. But as I got older, I realized life is very short and I want to regenerate. I want to be younger and I want to live a hell of a lot longer and stronger. Get it? Younger, stronger, and a hell of a lot longer. If you get more muscle, and muscle fibers, are you not going to be stronger? Yes. But if you build energy in the sarcoplasm of the muscle, which I'll talk about this in a minute, what all you are doing out there in an adapted state, you're getting shit, get jack shit. So this is how you build muscles, okay? They got to be injured. If you're not injuring them, they're not growing. And if they're quiescent too long, they undergo programmed cellular senescence. They go senescent, dead. An irreversible non-dividing state that handicaps the regenerative capabilities of muscle. See that? If they undergo senescence for too long, it's an irreversible non-dividing state that handicaps the regenerative capabilities of muscle now. You're fucked. This review examines how, listen to what they say, how periodic activation, they didn't say chronic activation. They said this review examines how periodic activation and cycling of satellite cells through exercise can mitigate what? Senescent acquisition and myogenic decline. Do you understand what they're telling you here? They're saying periodic activation, and look, they're telling you at the top, they're telling you here, they're saying, hold on a second, where was that? In response to injury, right? And how periodic activation and cycling of satellite cells through exercise can mitigate senescence. You can mitigate senescence and acquisition of myogenic decline. The acquisition of myogenic decline means that you're adding to the satellite cell pool. So if there's a lot left over of these satellite cells, they can return to the satellite cell pool for future regenerative demands. Get it? And you're mitigating senescence. How are you mitigating senescence? Because you're getting more muscle cells. Get it? Like it says there. Creating new cells to what? Look there at the top. Creating new cells to repair and create nascent muscle, new muscle fibers. Get it? Because muscle fibers die. You get it? They got to be replaced. You're getting old and you're losing them. We want to replace the old aging ones, the senescent ones. We want to mitigate senescent acquisition and myogenic decline by injuring the muscle fibers, like it says there, in response to injury. So you got to injure them. Why do you want to do that and not be a gym lifting slave? Because this is what gym lifting slaves get. So what is the cytoplasm of a muscle cell? Well, it's sarcoplasm. Sarcoplasm is the cytoplasm of a muscle cell. It is comparable to the cytoplasm of other cells, but it contains unusually large amounts of glycogen. See that? Polymer of glucose. Myoglobin and red color protein necessary for binding oxygen molecules that diffuse into muscle fibers and mitochondria. That's what most people are getting in the gym. That mass you're growing because you're eating an artificial diet, carbohydrates, that's what you're blowing up with. And this really kills your health. Going to the gym, constantly eating carbs, putting carbs back in your muscles, these cells, filling them up with carbs and shit and all that, is actually nasty and it's bad for your health. And blowing and getting 30 pounds of this, 30, 40 pounds to hold in your muscles, 40 pounds, even 50 pounds of this, 60 pounds, whatever, of this fucking sarcoplasmic hypertrophy shit in your muscles is going to fuck you in the long run. It's going to fuck you in the long run, trust me, in the long run. Maybe not in the short run, but in the long run it will. So yeah, here's another thing. You people that are constantly lifting in the gym, something that you might not be aware of. When we talk about micro traumas and micro injuries, well, these micro traumas are slightly different. These are the structural micro traumas that can destroy your body. Most micro trauma cause a low level of inflammation that cannot be seen or felt. See that? It cannot be seen and it cannot be felt. That happened to Ronnie Coleman. These injuries, these type of injuries can arise in muscle. They can arise in muscle, ligament, vertebrae, and discs, either singly or in combination. Repetitive microtrauma, here's where it comes. This is the worst part. Repetitive microtrauma, which are not allowed time to heal, can result in the development of what? More serious conditions. So when you do get DOMS, right? DOMS is associated with what? Microtrauma. It's all of this, the pain and everything, the soreness and the pain and all that, because I did videos on it already. They're associated with microtrauma, bro. If you don't allow time for that to repair and remodel, it can fuck you, like it says here. It can lead to the development of more serious conditions. Yeah, you can become a paraplegic. You can become all kinds of weird stuff from bodybuilding, from not allowing muscles to heal and repair and remodel themselves. If you injure anything, the vertebrae, the discs, the ligament, the muscle, or any combination of these, you'll be fucked. So I don't know what else to say there. They're activated. The cell is activated through muscle injuries. Okay, the cell, the progenitor cell. So yeah, I don't know what else to say. Talk about there. Somebody asked me that. That's how it works, dude. So the sarcoplasmic hypertrophy, does it add to the mass? It adds to the mass, but it's better to injure muscle fibers every periodically and activate it through what? I just told you before, man. Unaccustomed exercise is known to cause what? Widespread muscle damage. And what else? Well, untrained muscles and unaccustomed and untrained and unfamiliar forms cause that damage. Okay, dude? So there you go. That's why you want to shoot for this, what I just showed you here. You want to shoot for this, and you don't want to shoot for that. Now, it's okay to be a gym slave and an adaptive person in the gym, but every so often you should regenerate, because prolonged quiescence, what does it say here? When aged muscles, satellite cells that experience prolonged quiescence will undergo programmed senescence, an irreversible dividing state, whatever, handicaps regenerative capacities of the muscle. That's why you want to regenerate, and you don't want to be a lifting slave, a gym slave. Anyway, so just think about that. Like, subscribe, support the channel. I'll see you in the next one. I've done tons of videos, man. They're below, down there somewhere. I don't know. I've posted stuff, everything. I always post stuff. Now, these injuries, look, here's another thing. There's a level of injuries. I posted it. It's community section way down at the bottom somewhere. I don't know. You go look for it. It's there. It says 3 levels of injuries. Now, it depends on how you get these injuries. I prefer to do a full body, upper, lower body workout, upper one day, lower body the next day, and I do all muscle groups to make sure it's an overworking of this muscle. When the muscle's overworked, when it's repaired and remodeled, and I come back to the gym and I overwork the muscles, they'll get damaged, and I'll get DOMS in all body parts. So I have them grow all together. I don't separate them. I don't do back day injury, arms injury the next day. You're overworking it. If you get these injuries, if you fucking got these injuries in your arms and then you do your back the next day, they're going to shrink. They're going to fuck off. They're going to die, dude. You're going to screw them up or whatever. You're going to get this trauma, whatever, and then you work through the traumas. You're crazy. You're going to shrink your body. That's why the upper full body day is more superior in muscle injury than doing fucking bro splits, and it doesn't work in bro splits. Listen, muscle damage training, it doesn't work. It can. I've done it. But I got to take more time off between these splits. That's the problem. And I have to organize them properly. I do get them sometimes. I've done splits. They work. But after a period of time, they stop working. They don't work anymore. But the upper body, lower body, lower body, full body workout always works. Every time I came back, every 7th day, it always worked on the 7th day when I came back. I allowed a whole week to repair and remodel. And sometimes it takes 7 to 10 days at the max to repair and remodel muscles, sometimes even 14, depends. I don't know what you're eating. I usually eat in an anabolic growth state. Protein synthesis needs to exceed this breakdown where muscle fibers get damaged in that period of time of regeneration. And it's not something you have to do forever, but it's good to do periodically sometimes to get this regenerative capacity to come back in muscles. Not be a fucking lifting slave in the gym, bro. Get it? Adapted. Just putting carbohydrates in your muscles, adding sarcoplasmic fluid into the muscles, in and out, this glycogen in and out, sugar in, sugar out, sugar in, sugar out. Like Greg just said, calories in, calories out, calories in, calories. You're crazy. All you people crazy. That's why they're feeding you sugar. All these protein powders and everything, sugar, because That's what builds the adaptive muscle fibers, the mass in the muscle fibers, sugar, energy. They're made up of energy. Everything is fat cells are made up of triglyceride. Muscle fibers are made up of fucking glycogen, and when they shrink, you can become a diabetic. All depending. You got to watch out loading too much of it in there. You got to watch out when it starts to shrink. You become a diabetic or something. Your fucking prostate will grow. You'll have kidney problems, liver problems, and everything when this thing starts to shrink and go away. So it's better to move for density than mass with made up of phony mass, because that phony mass is artificial muscle growth. Glycogen, artificial muscle growth. Don't. That's why people going to the gym or working out consistently, that protein synthesis window is nothing. You're not building any muscle there because there's nothing damaged to build. Get it? And they're like, well, there's a window for protein synthesis 24 hours. There is a window for protein synthesis for 24 hours. But guess what? There's nothing for it to build. It's just replacing what it lost. It's called protein turnover. Get it? Duh. Yeah, man. So you're not really doing anything there in the gym. You're just wasting your time putting glycogen back in and out and getting good at lifting weights. Why do you need to get good at lifting weights? What are you lifting them for? I don't know. I don't know what you're doing there. But like I said, if you're doing it for because it's fun and it's want to lift a heavy weight, you want to get some force production, okay, that's great. But that does not, a force production doesn't make your body stronger. You could have a weak body and a strong lift. Get it? It's good to have both, at least a strong lift and a strong body. But you could rely more on the muscle fibers that you build if you build them, if you keep building them. I don't know who wants to go through all this repetitive injury of muscle fibers. Man, when I was young, I like it. Not so much when I'm older, but I still do it sometimes to regenerate. That's it, bro. That's it. That's all I do now. At 250, how much more do I need to get? How much more at 250? How much more I need to get? I don't know. It depends. But you are losing them as you get older. Like it said there, you're losing muscle and muscle fibers, losing mass, muscle fibers, everything. They're going away, bro. So yeah, I don't know what else to say there. But there are 3 levels of damage, and you can get a small amount of damage. You can get a repair and a remodeling, or a repair and a remodeling and more muscle fibers on top of that. Get it? So that's how it works. And the first one, sometimes it doesn't want to even give you any growth. But the second and third work the best. So there you go, man. Like I said, depends. Just remember, muscles need time to repair and remodel. Just because the DOM phase lasted only 4 days, let's say after you got these muscle microtraumas, they only lasted a couple of days. That doesn't mean it's time to go into gym and lift because the pain went away, the soreness, pain, whatever you had there. Remember, there's loss of restriction, movement, this, that, and all that kind of stuff because they're ultra-structural muscle injuries. You can look it up in DOMS Part 1. It'll explain it to you in there, okay? And then there's something called repeated bout effect. With a repeated bout, muscles don't get damaged anymore. Why don't they? Most likely it's a protective effect. They move into type 1 and then they start protecting themselves from any more damage. That's what really happens. Well, how does it do that? Well, it builds muscle so it doesn't get damaged. It protects itself by repairing and rolling stronger so it doesn't get any more muscle damage. That's the whole point. That's the adaptive phase. Hello. Muscle makes itself stronger by getting repaired and remodeled so it doesn't break again with a second repeated bout. Because it's protecting you from rhabdo. Because if muscles were to get injured, if they were to get damaged every time you worked out in the gym, and you worked out 5 days a week or 6 or 4 days a week or whatever, you'd get rhabdo, end up in a stupor, dead in a hospital, get it, in a coma. That's why. I'll see you in the next one. Don't you think about that? Like, subscribe, support the channel, helps with the algorithm. I'll see you in the next one. Remember, satellite cell and aging, use it or lose it. If you want to lose it, lose it. If you want to use it, use it. But if you don't want to do anything, then don't worry about it. That's what I say. See you later, man.